Well, I was making a cover for a journal I'm doing, and I had mentioned in my previous one that I would show how I make mine, and I started, I forgot, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn the camera on and show you what I've done so far. So unless I use a book cover, this is generally what I use, is a piece of file folder, and I cut it. I will get one and show you how I do it. I generally use used folders, you know, recycling. So if I just have one signature that's 10 to 12 pages long, or 10 to 12 pages, I will just cut this flat at 6 inches, okay? And then when I get that cut, I'll turn it and cut it at 9 inches. Because my pages are generally 5.5 by 8.5. Because I usually just take the 8.5 by 11 and fold it in half. But most of the time, I do 2 signatures. So I'll cut it off at 9 first. Okay, and then you know how these file folders have ridges along the edge. So what I'll do is fold that to where there's two of those. Now you could make it a little smaller if you wanted to, but I like to make sure there's plenty of room, and that's not too wide for 2 signatures once you get it all, you know, everything in there. So that is 3/4 of an inch right there. So then what I do is I put each fold on the 6-inch mark and cut each side separately. So I've got this fold on the 6-inch mark, so I'll cut this side, and then I turn it, put this fold on the 6-inch mark, cut this side, okay? So then when you've got it like this, both sides are even. But if you just want one signature, just go ahead and cut it like this, and then cut both sides at 6 inches. Okay? So now, that's what I did to this one, because I wanted a little bit of a spine, because I've got 2 signatures I'm putting in. So this is a paper that I picked out. I got this at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I think it's really pretty. It kind of looks like faux leather. And so now what I do, I didn't leave myself quite enough to fold over down here, but that's okay, it'll work. You don't want to cut clear to that corner, because when you fold these over, that corner will show. So just go a little bit above it and cut off the corners. I was trying to get to where I'm not too close, but I don't want to be too far away either. So I'm just leaving, I don't know, it's like a 1/16 of an inch above that corner. Okay, so now what you want to do well, first of all, the 12 by 12 paper isn't big enough to quite cover this and have enough to fold over. So what I do is I buy 2, unless I want a contrasting piece to go in the back. This is my back. So I put the first piece on and carry it over to the back about 2 inches or so. You can do however far you want. And then I take another piece from the second piece and cut it the same. And if you wanted a contrasting piece, you could do that here. I do that a lot of times. So then what I'm going to do before it's all said and done is I'll put a piece of trim right down the seam. Okay. So that's where I've gotten so far. And I use this fabric tack to put on the covers. Okay, so now what you want to do is fold over all the sides. And I did not make myself very much to fold over there. But we're going to make it work. It'll work. Oops. And make sure it folds all the way over to all over the edge. So what I do down here, make sure I'm in screen. What I do down here in the middle is just this side of this crease. I make an angle cut up to there, and on this side I make an angle cut so that it folds up nicely and there's no puckers. So that folds up like that. You're going to have 2 pieces on this side where you put 2 of them together. Just make sure they get all folded up. Clear to the edge. Okay. Same with this side. Use your bone folder to crease it down. Okay, and we've got this side already done. And now we need to do the same here on this side. Make a little angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need this part to be able to flip up. And it just folds a lot better. Okay. And here again, you're going to have 2 pieces on this side. Okay, so now we need to start gluing. And I just use this because it's strong glue and it dries pretty quickly. So I normally start with that middle piece and just work my way around. You have to hold it for a couple seconds because it takes a little bit. It doesn't hold as quickly as art glitter glue, but it does hold quickly. I mean, once it's down, it's down. And you don't want to go like right up to the edge normally with this kind of glue because it mushes out pretty good. So if you put too much glue right along the edge, it'll just all seep out and then you're having to wipe it off. Okay. Fold that over nice and tight. And I use an old credit card or something to just take and smooth everything down. And it smooshes out the glue so it comes out to the edges. Okay. Just keep going around. I love this fabric tack. There's like a 3-in-1, or what's the other one? Fabric something. It's all pretty much the same. And it's for, you know, obviously if you're using fabric or laces or something like that. Now up here, it didn't look like I put quite enough glue, so we'll just put a little dab under there. And it makes strings, so you got stringy. It's kind of like rubber cement, so if you get too much, it comes off easy. You just rub on it until it comes off. I don't know if you younger folks probably don't even know what rubber cement is, but us older people know what that is. We used to play with it in school, make balls with it and stuff. Okay. I don't even know if they make rubber cement anymore. Does anybody know? I've got these clamps that I use sometimes to hold these down for a little bit, but I think this is working okay. So now over here, I don't want to get it on my desk. I'm gonna hold it up a little. I don't know how I got that piece cut so crooked, because I was measuring it, not measuring it, but I had it on that piece and I marked it where I should cut it, and then it still turns out crooked. So, go figure. Okay, I'm getting all sticky. I need a wet one. So last 2 weeks of February, I was at my son and daughter-in-law's house in Arizona. And while I was there, I got the bright idea of going around and taking pictures. They had a lot of texture in their house. Oh my goodness. Like all their furniture and the tiles on the floor and the tiles outside on the patio and rugs and chairs. And I got the brilliant idea of going around. They didn't see me do any of this. I took pictures of a whole bunch of different tiles. A lot of the tiles that were outside on the patio were all different, like parts of them were blue. I'll show you. And a lot of them were like terracotta color or browns. And honestly, when you look at it, it looks like coffee dyed paper. It looks like coffee paper. They turned out so cool, and I decided that I was going to make her a journal using all the textile pictures that I took at their house and make kind of digitals out of them. I didn't make digitals, but I just printed them as they were. And some of them, I edited them a little bit to make them look maybe a little bit brighter. But, yeah, they turned out pretty cool. And it's going to make a really pretty journal, I think. And a memory, you know, because I'm going to print her off some pictures when I was down there. And then she can do what she wants with it. So I got carried away with the glue, like I said not to do. But that's okay. We're going to cover it up anyway with the piece that goes in here. Okay. Okay, so that's basically what I do to start. Let's put the outside on first, and you just kind of have to refold these creases to make your spine. So there's my cover. Now on the inside, I got this paper, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to put inside for the panels. So I go to the crease. I don't go over the crease. I go to the crease. And then up almost to the top. And because I came so close over here, I'm going to have to go pretty much almost to the edge. But you don't want to go over the crease over here, okay? So I'm going to mark down here where to cut it, here. And then over here, I'm going to cut it almost to the edge. So it'll cover. So I'll cut that piece first. My cat's out there meowing at me. He thinks he should be in here. You know. Okay, so now I gotta find my marks. Okay. I love this paper. So pretty. And it just kind of went with the theme because it just looks so textile-ish. That's a word. I don't know. That's it's not, it is now. Okay. So then this will get glued on over here. Just like that. So pretty. And you do not want to cut out another one. Use this as your pattern. You want to measure it over here, just like you did here, because you could be off a little bit or whatever. Just ask me how I know. But on this one, I'll go ahead and glue this piece. You don't need to cover every inch of the paper because you take your card and just spread it out, and it'll spread out the glue. Move it down just a hair. Okay, so we've got a nice edge over here. Okay, and I think I need a little bit of glue here on the corner. Very pretty. I love this. This is probably one of the prettiest papers that I've gotten to put on the inside cover of a journal. I saw that and I'm like, yes, that's perfect. Okay, so now what you want to do is come over here, do the same thing. Want to go just to this side of your crease. And this has a little mark on it for some reason. I don't know if I did that or... Oh, it belongs on there. There's little specks on this paper. That's what is so pretty about it. Okay, so then you need to... I want to try to make it even with this one here. And it's pretty even up here on the top. So we'll go right here. And right here. Okay. Then you want to make sure you remember which was the top. This is kind of a directional paper, so it shouldn't be hard to remember that. So this will go way over here. I want to glue this just inside the crease. Just like that. The reason I don't go over the crease is because of bulk. So we can cut another strip to go down the spine inside, inside the two creases. Whoop. Or like I said, if you want, like I said before in the last video, I think, you can cover it with a piece of Tyvek. And because usually what I do is come down the middle and cover it with a piece of like linen material, fabric. And I come over about this far with it. So you don't even need to. I like to reinforce it though. So we could just cut another piece of this. But I don't have any long strips and I don't want to. These can be used for tags or pockets or something. So I think what I will do is cut another strip from the file folder. So I'll mark it just inside the fold and just cut a strip. And then we'll glue the strip inside. That'll reinforce it. And you're not using it, you know, any fancy papers to do that or whatever. And you're not covering. I'm going to come down just a little bit though. Cut that piece off. Oops, I'm grabbing all kinds of stuff here. Okay, so we'll just glue this down. I'm gonna get rid of my pencil mark up here. You could just put the glue on there too. Probably easier. Okay, so you want to be on the inside of those creases because you don't want that bulk when you go to close it. See? Closes really easy. So you just want to give that a chance to dry. It'll take a little bit to dry. And then I'll show you what I mean about the material that I use. I'll take a strip of this, probably about this wide, and glue it down right here. Even with these pieces right here. You don't have to go to the very top unless you want to, unless you want to hang down. But I just go even with the inside pieces. And so that'll make it look really finished. And then when you sew your pieces in, you're not looking at whatever is here, because you will see that. So especially in between your two signatures, if you have two signatures. If you don't have two signatures, I usually do this anyway, just because it just makes it look nicer. Okay, so this is how I do my covers, and then the rest is just a matter of decorating it however you want. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and put glue down here. Glue over here on this side. And over here. And just kind of make sure you're kind of in the middle and smooth it out. And there you go. That's it, you know, and these don't really have to be down all the way. You can glue them down as much as you want. I have most of it glued down. But, yeah, so there is my cover. And I usually do my cover, make my cover after I have the rest of my journal made. And I will quickly show you this journal. I took photos while I was there and made pages with them. So this is the first page I wanted to have on it. And then I backed it with, this was one of their tiles. I didn't do anything to these photos. I mean, look at that. Looks like yummy coffee paper. And this is one of their outdoor tiles. Gorgeous. This was wood grain from a table that he has outside that he uses with all of his barbecue utensils and stuff like that. So I wanted to put that in there too. There's so many tiles, so, you know, I took a picture of a ton of tiles. They're all different. Look at that one. Beautiful. And then every now and then, I took so many pictures of sunsets, so I decided to make that, you know, put about 3 of them in each signature, and then fill the other pages in with the rest. This looks like a big bird right here. I couldn't get over that. When I took that, I was like, wow, look at that. And this was from a chair that they have. Isn't that pretty? I think this was from a blanket. I don't know. I've tried doing this before at my house, but yeah, you can make your own, you know. That's from a chair also. And this is another page, another sunset. Might have been the same one, I don't know. They had beautiful sunsets down there. And then I took a picture that I took of a blanket. It's probably on the back of one of the other pages. It was a neutral color, and I went in and edited it, and you can change the tint on things just in your media player editor. And I turned it blue. Isn't that pretty? I love it. And then this page, look at that tile. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. These are all tiles. Beautiful. Okay, so that's one. That's the first signature. There's 16 pages altogether. So it was too big to make as one for one signature. Just too big. So this was a rug. Part of it. Part of the rug. And this, I may have a little, my printer did that. So what I'm going to do is put a page tuck spot over here. So I didn't get rid of that. So here again, I tinted this blanket picture that I took and made it kind of a pinky color. I don't know what color it shows up. It's a little darker than what it shows up in the camera. but anyway, that's pretty. And then here's another sunset. So beautiful. We get sunrises here like this. Our sunsets are hardly ever like this. Their sunsets are always like that. Another tile. All the tiles are different. And then I took a picture of their floor, part of their flooring. Because, you know, you see wood grain digitals all the time. There's the back. I like these tiles that look real pitted. This was part of the wall outside. This was either a blanket or I can't remember exactly what this was from, but yeah, very pretty, very, very textile. It was another part of their wall. I think that was outside. And this is the middle piece. We went to a park. Took our grandson to a park so he could find bugs. And I looked up and saw this tree. There wasn't anybody around up there. And this bench under, I mean, isn't that just gorgeous? I thought, man, I love that. And then I just thought I would turn it into the double spread that's on the inside, the middle page. So this will be the middle page of the signature. Isn't that pretty? So I hope she likes this. And but anyway, I've got 2 signatures and they'll go in here just perfectly. Just like that. All right. So that's how I do that. And then after I get them sewn in, you've got your strings down here. And that's when I take my seam binding that I have from my cabin scrap shop. And I put the seam binding through there and bring it out so it's long enough to tie and cut it. And I glue it here and back here. And then depending on what I put on top, I might put a little glue on it, you know, make sure it's straight. Put a little glue on it to keep it. And then I put whatever I'm putting on the cover over it. And the back, I don't worry about it too much unless I find something that I want to put over here, like on the edge. You could bring your ribbon over, glue it right there, and then put something over it on the edge. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with the cover yet. That's why I'm not going to do that right now. But I am going to put something down the middle, like, for instance, something like this. I would put down that seam. I don't think it's going to be this. But, and see, that just really finishes it off really well. You could even just use another piece of cardstock like this, a thin piece, and run down there. You know, like, well, this is a strip that I cut off from there. You could even put something like that down there. That would look kind of pretty. But I think I want it to be something solid. So, you know, I've used this before. I can't remember where I got this. Oh, this is Paper Studio. Okay. So you could take, this is like jute rickrack, kind of. You could just put that right down that seam. Look at that. It looks really cool. This is probably what I'm going to use because this looks very textile-y. All right, there you go. There's your tutorial on how to do and how I do my journal covers most of the time. Just wanted to show you how I finished it. I used this digital on it. I had a couple of my friends help me decide between this one and another page, but I think all of us were really drawn to this. It looks very dimensional, very organic, and really textile. So that's the cover. And I brought it around to the back, and I put this, it's kind of a jute rickrack down that seam. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a lot of the pages inside. Now, I covered up what I ended up doing. I got this idea, like, I don't know, I'd already gone to bed, or I woke up in the middle of the night, I don't know, but I got the idea to take a lot of the pictures and make ephemera. Use them as ephemera in here, like on pockets and tags and that kind of thing. So that's what I did. So I'm covering up pictures, but I'll show you the pages, the other pages. So this is the inside of the cover. I put this paper, you saw me do that, I think. And so I just stuck some pieces of ephemera in here. I had this, looks like a book, book card, library card. Okay, so I will show you this. This is their dog. His name is Pickles. I'm sure they won't mind me showing you. He is adorable. Look at those eyes. He's the most expressive dog I've ever seen. That's my grand puppy Pickles. He's so cute. So this, a lot of this paper screamed for coffee ephemera. So I have some coffee digitals. So I made a journaling card and put that in there. And I won't show you this page, but this one, I took that strip that I had showed earlier and put down the side of this page. And let's see, going through here. My grandson loves gnomes, and so they have all these there's little gnomes. He used to have a bunch of big gnomes, and I don't know what happened to them, but I went around and took pictures of all these little gnomes. So I just made little photos of them and stuck them here and there. Okay, so on this page, I put this hidden journaling, or hidden paper clip. And just took this piece of paper, it's double-sided. Put it in here. So I marked the pages that I could turn to. So this page I took one of our, and because I'm giving this to her, I'm not selling it, I went ahead and left the name of the coffee company on this. This is part of the sleeve that goes on their coffee cup. So I cut this front part off and made a pocket out of it. And I had made this little booklet like this. And I took one of Timmy's little paper clips. Keep it shut. Sometimes they're hard to get on. Anyway, put that in there. And here's the center of this signature, and I put these beads. I have these little That's like a little seed bead on either side of this one. And I had these small beads. And then I made paper beads from some of this paper from her digital, so it matches. So that's the center. In this page, I put pocket that I had in my stash, and I thought it went really well. And I put this, there was kind of a green color on there. I didn't, green and red, which I didn't like. It didn't go with the book, so I covered it with one of my faux stamps. And I had this journaling card that I'd made out of a piece of masterboard. So I thought the colors went really well. Okay, and let's see. This page, I used some of this paper that I put on the front cover on the inside and made a pocket. Use this paper, it's double-sided. Put that in there. That's got a photo on it. I covered it up. There's Pickles again. He's so cute. He loves his toys. He's so funny. This is his dino, and when Mom and Dad come home, he gets so excited and he'll run to his box of toys. He'll grab a toy out. He'll go sit at the end of the rug, put the toy on top of his paws like this, and looks at them. They're supposed to get a treat and set on top of his toy so he can eat it. I mean, talk about spoiled dog. He's spoiled. Okay, so this is the page that I had the black stuff that came out from the printer. So I made this tuck spot here. I just took a piece of digital like this, put underneath to kind of, you know, bring them together. There's another little picture of a mushroom that goes with the gnomes. There's a digital card I made, or a journal card. Put in there. Okay, on this page I just made this pocket with coffee stuff on it, and made this little tag. This is for Mindless Crafting. One of their coffee, I think I showed you their coffee set. I think this piece of paper I got from a friend of mine. And then I just took this little piece of paper and put some decorations on it. Just stuck that down in there. The colors go really well. This page, here's another couple more little gnomes that I just put down here in the corner. And then I used some more of that paper and made a pocket on this page. And this is a journaling card I made with an envelope, window envelope. So that goes in there like that. I put another one of those sleeves over here. Stuck a couple things in there like that. And I think that's about it. Oh, here I had a cluster that was in my stash. I glued on the side. Put that. I think there was something over here. I don't know. And then here, this is a bag that I took and I glued around the edges, and I left the back open for a pocket. And there's this picture back there. And then this opens. And there's a picture inside there too. And there's a picture under here. I didn't want to show that, but I made another little tuck spot out of the remainder of that paper. Had these two little things. Isn't that cute? This is a stamp die set that I got from Close to My Heart before they closed. I love this. There's like 3 different owls in that set. It's so cute. So I just put that in there like that, and I think that's it, except for this last page. This is the other journaling card that I made. Put that here. I just punched out that clock. Put on there. So there's my journal. Let me know what you think. I hope she likes it. And yeah, it was fun. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Press that like button and leave me a comment, and we'll see you soon. Bye.